Boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, children of all ages, it's Jesse with the comment, bringing you pop culture and all things ready through a common sense lens. And although it does seem that the console wars have ended, boys and girls, as our dear sweet GameStop declared not too long ago, but the meme wars have only begun, ladies and gentlemen, and it is absolutely hilarious because there is a new sheriff in town and politics aren't all stuffy and nonsensical and crazy anymore. And of course, if you hadn't heard already, Halo has been at the absolute centerpiece of all of this controversy, of all of this memeory, and of all of the wonderful meltdowns that we are going to get into today, boys and girls, because this is absolutely hilarious. People are out there losing their minds because Halo's anniversary came up. They're launching stuff now out there that is going to be exclusive. Well, no longer exclusive. It is going to happen on day one for the PlayStation for the new combat, reimagined, re-evolved, whatever the kind of nonsense garbage they want to hear. And obviously there's been some backlash over that, but the memes have been absolutely hilarious because ICE, boys and girls, the Immigration Enforcement Agency here in the United States, has jumped in on things after GameStop and of course the White House themselves decided to jump in on all of the fun with the meme war and all of the GameStop and the console wars finally ending. And of course, this caused all of the normal expected suspects out there to completely and totally melt down. And ladies and gentlemen, I'm talking everybody from the governor of California, Gavin Newsom, trying to act like this thing was some kind of backlash against somebody else, getting absolutely roasted, or Angry Joe having an absolute meltdown, and Geeks and Gamers Jeremy having a wonderful time. Yes, boys and girls, the internet, Reddit, and all of your usual suspects out there are completely and totally having meltdowns, and documenting that disastrous dumpster fire is absolutely hilarious because, boys and girls, at the end of the day, this is candy for all of us out there with common sense because these are the last gasps of a dying breath of an ideology that has lost all of its power. Because guess what? It turns out the majority of the culture, after all, doesn't agree with your ideology, doesn't want your nonsense, and go woke, go broke is true after all, based on all of the layoffs we've been seeing over just the last few months. Because, boys and girls, common sense is returning to the world out there. Memes are back in vogue, even from the White House. And as we all know, the left can't meme, and they're all having a meltdown, crying and whining, and all of the rest of us are just having a grand old time because this is hilarious. And by the way, I love this timeline. So we're sharing this article from thatparkplace.com, but to get the full scope of all of the memes, we have to bounce over to a couple of different places. Geeks and Gamers has got an article over here talking about all the Newsom stuff that's got some more of the fun memes in here. And then, of course, Joe Vargas and all of the meltdowns, including our dear sweet Geeks and Gamers, aka D-Day Cobra's very own Jeremy, out there going over the whole thing. And boys and girls, this is hilarious. This is funny. If you haven't seen some of these memes and some of these meltdowns, make sure you stick around because you are in for a whole lot of fun. But before we get to all of that, if you do enjoy our content, hit that like button, share with all your friends, and subscribe or follow if you have not already, boys and girls, because we are grinding, we are growing, we produce content for you guys 7 days a week. We just crossed 2,300. We're inching our way closer and closer to 24. I think we're sitting at like 2,360, and I could not do that without every single one of you. Also, leave us a comment in the section down below. Are you one of those little psychopaths out there having a meltdown over all of the Trump memes and ICE using Halo and Master Chief as a prime example and a flagship of fun jokes out there? Or are you one of the more common sense people out there who's just sitting back laughing and enjoying all of this go down because this stuff is funny and it shows you that the culture is healing? Let us know what you wrote in the comment section down below. And to support the channel, please check out your links in the description down below. All right, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to start over here at thatparkplace.com because I think our dear sweet Marvin Montanero's got a really nice little kind of summary of everything we've got here. But of course, we got to go for the memes as well. So stick around. So from thatparkplace.com, ICE uses Halo meme to recruit. Angry Joe and others melt down with profanity-laden rants over destroy the flood post. Yes, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, we live in a world where no one can take a joke anymore. I guess it explains why comedy is mostly dead as a genre when it comes from Hollywood. How about that? So a new meme from the U.S. Department of Homeland Security has sent the internet into meltdown. The official ICE recruitment account posted an image straight out of Halo, complete with the franchise's signature Warthog vehicle and the message, Destroy the flood. Join ice.ice.gov. And if anybody knows the statistics based on the absolute insanity of the flood we had coming over our southern border, you'll know it's a pretty accurate description. The numbers were insane. Don't believe me? Go look them up for yourselves. But like I said, Homeland Security also puts out here, finishing this fight with the Destroy the Flood. Join ice.gov. And I love it. They're out there finishing the fight. They're sticking to it. And it's funny. Why? Why is it funny? Because Halo is culturally relevant to everyone out there. And the majority of people, millennials and down, and much of the Gen Xers out there, all played this game, all know exactly what it means. And for those of us with common sense and understand the issues happening at our southern border, especially those of us that live close to it, trust me, we get it. And it's funny. And it's funny. The post, which appeared on the DHS and ICE social media feeds, borrowed heavily from Microsoft's Halo imagery, including the iconic ring world structure. What might have been a tongue-in-cheek recruitment nod to gamers instantly turned into a progressive social media firestorm. Many users on X, including Joe Vargas of the Angry Joe Show, oh wow, he's angry. Well, at least it's tying in with his brand, voiced their displeasure in profanity-laden rants at both ICE and Trump. And look, apparently Angry Joe's a pretty popular video game reviewer, at least he was back in the day before he had a complete and total meltdown over TDS nonsense kind of garbage. But I don't know the guy from Adam. I don't know anything about him, but I heard he used to be good. So I don't know. You know, this is how things go. This is what possessed by the spirit of the age will do to you. This is what happens when your ideology matters more than just laughing at a meme, boys and girls. So the image finishing the fight shows soldiers in a warthog below the Halo ring, unmistakably lifted from the Xbox Classic. The tagline, Destroy the Flood, references one of the game's alien factions. If for some reason none of you have ever played Halo, why am I even doing this? Why am I even explaining any of this to you? You guys know all of this. This is from Video Games over on Reddit. Official post from ICE. Microsoft needs to sue the F out of them. Well, I don't really see Nintendo or Nintendo America jumping on that bandwagon when they used the Pokemon stuff now, did they? Yeah, methinks Microsoft is not going to try to pick a fight with the federal government, considering a big portion of Microsoft's meal ticket is made at the federal government. Yeah, them government contracts do sure cause a problem with all your virtue signaling when somebody new's in power, huh, Microsoft? And you guys thought they were on your side. Even the rap admits it was all just virtue signaling right from the get-go, boys and girls, because diversity is now in full retreat, according to them. Reddit user Lavish Monkey decided to have a meltdown. The sentiment echoed across social media as gamers accused ICE of co-opting one of gaming's most beloved franchises for propaganda. Yeah, because the left wing's never done that before, now have they? It sure sucks when the shoe's on the other foot. Huh. How'd that Saints Row woke reboot work out for them, boys and girls? YouTube personality Joe Vargas, known as Angry Joe, didn't hold back, responding here. F ICE and F Donald Trump. Get the F out of here, not using Halo for your dehumanizing nonsense. You're stating your nonsense. Use police state propaganda. No one thinks your S is cool, besides their low IQ, MAGA cult members on X, half of which are bots. Y'all gonna find out soon in the next election. Are we, Joe? Are we? Because it's weird. Once all them government lockdowns kind of lifted and all them silly rules kind of expired in 2020, 2024 sure turned out to be a whole lot different. If I remember correctly, Trump even won the popular vote, which means even with the Electoral College, which you guys, the Electoral College, it's so unfair. So not only did he win the Electoral College, but he also won the popular vote. Do you know what that means, Angry Joe? That means the majority of the population of the United States of America that participates in controlling the direction of said country disagrees with you, Joe. I know. Strange concept, huh? So, explain to me who all the bots are nowadays, because weird how all of a sudden the bosses who are in charge of Twitter change. It becomes X. And all of a sudden, people like you don't control the narrative anymore. Weird. It's almost like diversity is now in full retreat because it doesn't pay the bills and it can't actually keep anything afloat, despite that modern audience that was going to just replace all of us racists and sexists. Another user, Ikea Cannon, wrote in reply to the Department of Homeland Security's post, F off, Trump. Don't use Halo as propaganda for your ICE gang. Boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, for all of you out there who like to do math, who deported more people, a Republican, President Bush, or a Democrat, President Barack Obama? So whose gang is ICE again? Just kind of curious. The trend didn't appear out of nowhere. Just days ago, GameStop jumped into the meme world when Halo Combat Evolved was announced for PlayStation 5. The retailer declared the console wars were finally over, sparking a flood of Halo-themed memes online. And this was the best part, because of course, they had to get involved with it. When the Trump administration's Rapid Response 47X account joined in, GameStop fired back with an image of President Trump hiding behind Master Chief. From there, the flood, pun intended, of memes never stopped, leading to his latest unexpected crossover from ICE itself. And I mean, that's just glorious right there. I missed this one the last time we were talking about this, and I love it. That is just absolutely glorious. And the best part is, like, it's not done yet. They just keep going. Destroy the flood. I mean, from GameStop depicting President Trump and VP Vance in Halo. And it's funny because Polygon, you know, one of those spirit of the age possessed people is out there, one of the people that went through massive layoffs not too long ago. Polygon derided the campaign while begrudgingly noting that GameStop stock had risen after its Halo memes. Weird. It's almost like common sense folks are actually the ones with money and not all of you activist psychopaths out there. Kotaku revisited the agency's earlier use of pop culture imagery, which passed recruitment video using the Pokemon reference, and concluded Microsoft is unlikely to pursue legal action. Even your activist crowds have to admit this isn't going to work. The Times of India, another spirit of the age possessed place out there, even reported that gamers are united against the Trump administration's use of Halo art for the ICE recruitment, though the comment sections under the official post tell a different story, with many replies supporting the move or laughing at the outrage. And it's not done there. There's more of them. Newsom tried to jump in on all of this as well, and this is hilarious. Governor Newsom press office, his official government paid for account, boys and girls. Consoles more expensive. Games more expensive. Subscriptions more expensive. Not sure the Trump administration really wants to be talking about gaming right now. Because of course, President Trump has now presided over another war ending, i.e. the console wars, boys and girls, a 20-year conflict. But it didn't take long before Gavin Newsom got a reality check from the internet. Adam asks, does this mean it was Biden's fault when $70 became the standard price for new AAA games for the PS5, Xbox Series X, and Switch during his term? Oreo Express asks, California has the highest gas prices, electricity costs, insurance costs in the nation. And Gavin wants to act like the struggling California families are worried about a console? Are you kidding me? Don't believe Oreo? Check the stats yourself, boys and girls. Husky Queen over here. Huskoween says, as a gamer, I don't need politicians like you making statements about my culture. You don't really care. Huskoween's right. I don't know Huskoween from Adam either, but Huskoween's right. They don't. Newsom is using it as nothing more than virtue signaling, just like even the rap confirmed. It was all just virtue signaling, boys and girls, because diversity is now in full retreat. In full retreat. This is from WLCT. Leave it to liberal Gavin Newsom always having to interject his opinion on a situation he has no knowledge about, no influence on, and never cared about until his obsession with Donald Trump is involved. Seriously, mental case of Trump derangement syndrome. This isn't the first time he tried this, right? This is the nonsense garbage again. everybody points out none of this is going to matter at all. And it's not done. Joe Vargas's actual tweets, he couldn't be done with just this. He couldn't be done, boys and girls. And Kangman Lee jumping in right here. We got fat JD Vance, classic Code Red Mountain Dew. You remember the Code Red Mountain Dews? You remember the Code Logan Hall making gaming great again. President Trump out there playing PlayStation, playing an Xbox. Yeah, it looks like a PlayStation controller. Playing a PlayStation. Marty O'Donnell, boys and girls. Now, for some reason you don't recognize the name, I guarantee you will recognize his work, because if I mention Halo, majority of the fans out there are going to hear Marty O'Donnell's work. Why? Marty O'Donnell is the man responsible for that epic song, that epic theme song from Halo. Marty O'Donnell, also a completely and totally base common sense person. Pointing out the Halo Master Chief with Donald Trump as Master Chief and fat JD Vance as Cortana, the creator of the Halo sound, the Halo iconic intro, says, I'd come out of retirement for this remake. Now, boys and girls, where do you really want to fall out there in the world? The people out there who laugh at memes, who understand things are just jokes and nothing is too serious to not be laughed at. Because, I mean, honestly, that's the point of the court jesters. That's the point of our comedians, right? To point out the ridiculousness of life in a funny way that'll hopefully make you laugh and potentially even make you think about a few things. Memes are just our culture's modern version of it. And one meme from apparently someone inside of this White House. I said it not too long ago that I am so happy millennials are now in charge of the White House's social media account. Because at the end of the day, boys and girls, this is how we win. This is the new version of, for whatever you want to take with the connotations of this word, propaganda. This is the new war. The meme wars have begun. The console wars have ended them, and they have now started with this. And the best part is, this is a war won with hearts and minds, with engaging in conversations, with engaging in creative things, making memes and joking about it. Because despite all of the rhetoric, despite all of the lies, despite all of the manipulation that's been pushed throughout the media, throughout video games and entertainment, television shows, movies, and even music in a lot of different cases, our side's never been the violent ones. We're the ones that stand up when others are attacked and commit violence on their behalf. Because in a world with soft people like Gavin Newsom and Angry Joe, you need hard men to do dangerous things, the things that they couldn't handle. And the nice part now is, boys and girls, another sign that gives me hope is that we live in a world where these nutcases lose their entire minds over a meme. There are people out there in the world right now having actual stress over the fact that they love Halo and that ICE is using it for recruiting with memes. We just gave you a whole list of them, all the way from one of the longest running video game commentators out there, Angry Joe, to the governor of California, Gavin Newsom, to random Redditors and random Twitter posters. Boys and girls, this is a sign of hope. Yeah, did PlayStation win the console wars? Sure. As a PlayStation guy, do I like that? Absolutely. But at the end of the day, the better part about this is we have evolved as a society, as a culture, to a point now to where we don't have to break down to fist fights. We don't have to convince mentally deranged people to take out our perceived enemies who happen to be reaching a demographic that we thought we had complete and total control over. We hurt them now, boys and girls, with memes. There's no physical violence involved anymore. We don't have to pick up arms and ammunition. You're not going to have to lob a grenade over a barrier. All you have to do is make a meme depicting Donald Trump as Master Chief. All you have to do is be ICE and make a little meme with a warthog saying, come join ICE and help stop the flood. perfectly relevant and honestly funny cultural references. And the best part is, now that we have control of a lot of the institutions, now that we pulled just a few of the levers, and after everyone found out that 2 + 2 still does equal 4, and you do eventually run out of other people's money, the meme wars have begun, boys and girls, because they've lost a lot of their power and control. And Angry Joe and Gavin Newsom and everybody else that's screaming and whining and having an absolute hissy fit over a meme, it's the last dying gasp of a breath from a side that lost a long time ago and had no idea that this kind of apocalypse was coming. And you know what? We never even had to get beyond the ballot box. And I love that. And now that the ballot box time is over, the meme wars have begun. So boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, rest in peace, console wars, because the future is bright and full of a lot of fun as long as we continue to laugh at ourselves and, most importantly, laugh, ridicule, and document the disastrous dumpster fire of our enemies. Because, boys and girls, the meltdowns have only begun. It's only going to get better for here. The fans, the gamers have won. Master Chief rules. Angry Joe sucks. TDS is a real thing, and boys and girls, the future is bright, because after all, they've danced with the devil in the pale moonlight, and now all it takes is a meme to burn them. After all, they did it to themselves. A big shout out to all of our subscribers and members out there. Thanks for watching, and make sure you guys like and subscribe if you have not already.